The Southern Center for Human Rights is thrilled to celebrate Virginia's repeal of the death penalty and to honor the bold, persistent advocacy of Dale Brumfield, Michael Stone, Reverend Dr. Lakeisha Cook, and Benjamin Hoyne, the abolitionists who combined their talents for a multi-pronged approach that made Virginia the first Southern state to end capital punishment. Since Jonestown colonists carried out the nation's first execution in 1608 and went on to execute colonists for things like stealing grapes and killing chickens, Virginia has executed nearly 1,400 people. Virginia has executed 114 people, more than every other state except Texas, in the modern death penalty era. Racial disparities were enshrined in Virginia's early capital punishment laws, which provided that white defendants could be executed only for first-degree murder, while enslaved black defendants could be executed for numerous non-homicidal crimes. Even after those laws were declared unconstitutional, racial discrimination persisted. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, Virginia executed 73 black men, but not a single white person for non-homicidal crimes between 1900 and 1969. Of those executed for murder during that period, 185 were black and 46 were white.
It's great that we've been able to demonstrate a bipartisan approach to abolishing the death penalty, regardless of your political persuasion, your faith tradition, your view on criminal justice system. We all recognize that state-sanctioned killing is unjust and must be abolished.
When I joined the staff of Virginia Interfaith Center for Public Policy, I joined with the mission of galvanizing support specifically in the African American faith community. I issued the call, and the call was answered in a monumental way. Hundreds of faith leaders joined their voices with ours in saying that it was time to end capital punishment here in Virginia.
For VADP, the COVID-19 pandemic forced us to totally rethink how we carry out our work. Dale and I had to educate, organize, and advocate for abolition in an entirely new way. We embraced Zoom as a tool for reaching people and engaging our supporters, allies, and legislators.
In citing the death penalty's link to lynching and explaining her support for the abolition bill, Virginia Senator Mamie Locke is quoted as saying, "In the 1940s and 50s, they simply moved from the outside to the inside, legal violence instead of vigilante justice." Virginia Senator Scott Suravel, who sponsored the abolition bill, said that racial disparities in the application of the death penalty persist. Supporters of the bill also pointed out that the death penalty is unreliable and does not deter crime.
The capital defense attorneys from the 1980s, the 1990s, and the early 2000s, their support, what they did cannot be overstated. They were tremendous in sometimes the darkest of times, doing work that was underappreciated and sometimes just went nowhere. And to that end also, we have the 2004 Capital Defense Offices who finally brought in high-powered attorneys who were able to blunt the forces of the prosecution, whereas before we never had much of a chance against them.
On March 24th of 2021, Governor Ralph Northam signed a bill to abolish the death penalty in Virginia. He signed the legislation at the Greensville Correctional Center, which houses the execution chamber used to carry out capital punishment by the Commonwealth of Virginia. This historic legislation makes Virginia the first state in the South to abolish capital punishment.
Finally, I want to lift up the voices of those who didn't make it this far, those in Virginia that died on death row, and those that continue to be on death row, both federally and in states across the country. I'm hopeful that we can keep them in our thoughts and lift them up as we continue to work on abolishing the death penalty once and for all in this entire nation.
There is a scripture that's in the Gospel according to Luke that says that if you have the faith of a mustard seed, You can speak to the mountain, and you can tell the mountain to move from here to there, and the mountain will move, because nothing is impossible with God. We thought when we first started this fight that the mountain would not move. But because of our collective faith, we were able to join our voices, and we said, "Move mountain," to capital punishment, and the mountain moved.
With this award, the Southern Center for Human Rights honors the recipients for their effective and innovative advocacy, unshakable commitment to seeking an end to the death penalty in Virginia and across the nation, and the palpable compassion that they express for those whom society would discard. Ladies and gentlemen, we salute Dale Brumfield, Michael Stone, Reverend Dr. Lakeisha Cook, and Benjamin Hoyne.
It was a tremendous effort by a lot of people, and to all of you, I've got 3 final words for you. We did it.